Hey guys, thanks for checking out this video series. We're going to be taking a look at how to set up and run tracks using Worship Tracks Essentials. And what that is it's a system that I developed through years of serving in my church, playing, music directing, running tracks in a highly spontaneous worship environment. It actually started with a desire to be able to utilize tracks in a way that didn't limit our worship team's ability to flow spontaneously in worship, make in-the-moment calls to adjust the arrangement of the songs, repeat sections, skip sections, and really go wherever we needed to respond in real time as our team was leading. I think many times using tracks in worship can be more of an all or nothing scenario. If we're using tracks, we might feel locked into a specific song arrangement and really feel like we lose the ability to deviate or flow or go spontaneous. And those who might prioritize that type of spontaneity might not feel like they're able to utilize a resource like tracks because it feels like it's possibly too rigid. So my hope through this is that it will actually help you and your team experience freedom and flexibility while utilizing a great resource like tracks. So let's go ahead and take a look at how this process works, how it's designed to operate. And so we're going to look at a few different things. We're going to look at the Ableton session template. We're going to look at using Touch OSC to control all of it, and just a basic MIDI fader controller. So included in that, this is kind of what you get when you download it. So there's Ableton sessions created in version 10, 11, and 12. So whichever session or whichever version you're using, there's a session for you. It also includes the Korg Nano Control file. So if you transfer this to your Korg Nano Control, then the faders will automatically be mapped to work with the Ableton session. And that also includes the Touch OSC files. So we're going to take a really close look at all of this. But first, it's a little bit of the boring stuff, but it's really worth it. We're going to look at some basic settings that you're going to want to kind of look at before you even start digging into the rest. So first thing we're going to do is we're just going to open Ableton, and we're going to change a couple things here. So up here, live settings. I'm a big shortcut guy, so I apologize if I'm using shortcuts. I'm going to try and explain everything as I go, and hopefully I don't skip anything. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the Record Warp Launch tab. And this is a really, really, really important one here. So by default, Auto Warp Long Samples, this is going to be turned on. If you've just installed Ableton or you haven't ever made this change before, you want that to be turned off. That can actually cause major issues with the timing of stems down the road. So we're going to turn that off. The other thing that's helpful to turn off is the Start Playback with Tap Tempo. Another really important one here is get automatic updates. It by default is set to always. I never want anything to happen automatically without me telling it to happen. Especially you might show up on a Sunday morning and all of a sudden there's an update and it messes things up. So I always set it to ask me, and that's going to pop open a little dialog down here if there is an update available, and you can choose when to install that. We also want to turn on our IAC MIDI bus. And so what you want to do is, I have it in my dock here, the Audio MIDI Setup utility. This is included on every Mac. And if you don't already have that located, you can just do a quick search. And here it is, Audio MIDI Setup. We're going to open that up, and this is the MIDI Studio window. It has all the MIDI devices that are connected, and this might not be open by default, and so you can come up here to Window and click Show MIDI Studio. We're going to double click here on the IC driver, and you just want to make sure that this box is checked, Devices Online. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and quit out of that app. That's all we need to do there. And then back over in Ableton, we're going to go back over to our preferences, and we want to go here to the MIDI tab. And now with the IAC driver online, it will show up as an available input and output device in our Ableton MIDI settings. So what we want is for input, we want remote checked, and on the output, we want track checked. And that's it there. So real quick, let's go ahead and transfer the Korg Nano Control file. There's links to install this in I included this setup instructions, and there's a web link here where you can download this utility. So now you can't see my desk, but I have a Korg Nano Control connected, and so we're going to connect to it here. And then all we need to do to transfer that file is come here to File, Open. I don't need to save changes because I'm about to override whatever there is anyway. And here's the file, which in the folder here, it's in the Nano Control folder. We're going to open it, and you can see it populated with the MIDI mappings that are necessary. Now this, at this point, is only loaded up in the application. It hasn't transferred to the actual controller yet, so we're going to come up here to Communication and say Write Scene Data. That's going to send all these settings over to the Nano Control. And that's it. And then for Touch OSC to work, we need to install Touch OSC Bridge, which again, there are instructions here, the website to be able to download Touch OSC Bridge, as well as the Touch OSC Editor app, which is what we'll need to kind of create our iPad files. We're going to go ahead and launch Touch OSC Bridge. And one thing you'll notice is it's not going to open up a whole application window. You're just going to see this little B pop up in your upper menu bar. And then once your iPad is connected, you want to see one USB connection. If at any point your iPad is connected with Touch OSC open on the iPad and you're not seeing this, there could be a connection issue, whether it's a bad cable, a bad port, something that's preventing it from talking. So you want to make sure that you see one USB connection. All right, so those are the basic setups, and then we'll go ahead and move on into part 2.